Hey, I am walking through Quebec City. I'm on my way to a coffee shop to start working. And I just finished recording a beautiful podcast episode with a former colleague of mine, a friend. We worked together in Munich, I think around 2016, 2017. And she shared what happened ever since, because when she left our company, I never heard of her again. And funny enough, only, I guess it was 1 week after I started my podcast, her Instagram showed up. And I realized, wow, she lives in Sri Lanka now? And I went through her profile and like she was there for a long time already. So I remember I really enjoyed her company back then. We spent some lunch breaks together. So I invited her over to my podcast. And what I loved about this conversation, it's in German. What I loved about this conversation was how connected our stories are. The processes we went through, the good and the bad, the struggles, the voice inside of us that asked us to move, but also the voices from outside and also some from inside that were more like, but what if this goes wrong? What if you fail? What if you never get what you already have? Your life is not that bad. It was, it was really interesting. And, I mean, she was courageous in 2018. So long time before I thought about leaving Munich. And one thing that she said is, at some point in Munich, she realized she doesn't feel fully alive, like in her full power and fully joyful, which she did feel in the past. So she was traveling before. She was in Australia, and she said there in Munich, I was like, I know there is more that's possible. And what she did is she then in Munich tried to tap into that feeling. She shared that she looked for scents that remembered her of that time. Like with all the senses, smelling. We didn't go all into detail, but what I assume is like smells, maybe food, pictures. She shared that she went through all pictures to cultivate that feeling again and to tap into this energy again. That's what I took from it. And that was a very similar process that I went through in all of that leaving. Because when I looked at the past year, it happened that I felt most alive when I was traveling. And I remember thinking, okay, how can I invite this feeling of travels into my daily life in Munich? So I tried to find room to be more in a flow, to to have room for this magic to appear, right? Because that's what mostly happens when I'm moving is I don't have a lot of plans. So there's a lot of uncertainty and there's a lot of like openness that can be filled with beautiful encounters, synchronicities, things that I didn't even know that it existed. Like all these things that make this experience so rich. And yeah, hearing her perspective on this and her journey was deeply touching. Another thing that she shared was that for her, it was so beneficial to step out of her surrounding. Because of course it can feel like, oh, you're running away from something. And that might be even true to a certain degree. But the moment that we leave our environment and are in a new environment, that gives like a completely new perspective. And for me, it's a bit of an experiment. So what happens, like for me right now, I'm in Quebec City. So I feel like, how do I feel here? Because I really love Montreal. So for now, I'm like, I love the province of Quebec. And what I realized being here in the city, it's a beautiful city, but I don't feel it. Like, I don't feel I belong here. I feel such a strong calling to go back to Montreal. I mean, of course, I will finish my house sit. I'm taking care of a cat, and of course, I will finish that. But I'm looking forward to go back to Montreal. And that is a feeling that I haven't had in such a long time. I didn't miss a place. I miss people. That is a familiar feeling. But a place, very, very rarely. I do miss, I miss, I love coffee, right? And I love the coffee specialities that they made that I got in Chengdu in China and also in Kuala Lumpur. Imagine it's like a cocktail, but without alcohol, and coffee is involved, but you have like some foam, and sometimes you even got like a little card that had the story of the drink. I love these kind of things, and I miss that. I don't know if this exists in Montreal. So far, I haven't seen it. But apart from that, like a place, a city, I love to go home to my hometown. I also love to be in Munich and see friends or go to the mountains, but I don't miss it. I have warm feelings when I think of them, but I don't have this, oh, I'd love to be there. And honestly, it can be tough to never have this feeling like, oh, I wish I was there now. Because, I mean, it's also beautiful, right? Because, wow, maybe I'm just where I'm supposed to be. That's cool. I don't want to be anywhere else. But since I feel so connected to Montreal, for me, it's very special to now be in another city and really looking forward to coming back to Montreal. And yeah, Vera shared that the perspective, the change of perspective through moving to another country really, really helped her to get more clarity of what it is that she wants. And we both agree that it's not necessarily like that for everyone. Not everybody needs to move to another country. It is maybe a bit of an extreme part, but to experiment a bit with your surrounding, I think that can be super beneficial for all of us, because we are so connected to, I don't know, what we expect from ourselves, what others expect from us, what we expect others to expect from us. Like there's like layers over layers over layers, projections, and all these things that are not necessarily beneficial for our lives, but yeah, who knows? I really enjoyed this episode. So whoever speaks German, go for it. And it was just so beautiful to talk to someone that I know from before all this journey started, and to realize that we both ended up on a very similar path. Also very different, but also very connected, because deep down underneath, what we do is that we follow our inner voice, this inner compass, no matter what the outside says. And that is an act of courage, and that is an act that it gets easier, right? It, like, at least that's my perspective at the moment. Not that life necessarily gets easier, but to not hear the noise gets easier, because I have so much more certainty that how should someone that has always been in the same place understand what I'm going through? It's just different, and nothing is better or worse. It's just different. So when my mom says, I'm so proud of you, and I see that it's the right thing for you to do, or I see that you're happy and that makes me happy, but I don't really understand what you're doing. And that is just very honest, and I mean, why not? Like, the same for me. Like, wow, I can't believe that you are in the same village for so many years, and that is like that is enough. And it is enough. And like the fact that for me something was not enough doesn't mean that it's not enough for someone else, or that it's not fulfilling. And that was definitely a lesson that I also had to learn over time. So yeah, that just came up on the go while I walked through Quebec City. I just arrived at my coffee shop. So let's get some things done.